I'm Rich Fenton.
Wait a minute, is this
Just
on?
move your seat back a little more.
Here.
What's the story in back? Can you hear us? Yeah, that's great.
I'm the tech support while Rob is sitting back there. However this goes.
I'm Rich Fenton, and I have the honor, and it is truly an honor, to be Master of Ceremonies for today's special event. Special in three ways. First of all, it's special because we're honored to have our Congresswoman, Louise Slaughter,
It's Mom.
to administer this swearing in. It's special in two other ways also. It's the first time in my lifetime here at Brockport, and that's almost a half century, that two Democrats are being sworn in to be on the town board at the same time. Susan Ireland and I see Susan sitting back there, had the pleasure of serving together on the town board for 2 years, but she was sworn in before I was and left before I did. But this ceremony is special in another way also. In addition to the fact that this has been an incredibly successful campaign, the fact that Annie Crane is being appointed to the village board at the same time says an awful lot about the relationship between the town and the village, a relationship that is so important to all of us in this community. So, what a wonderful thing. Two-party government in the town, active Democrat from the town acting on the village board. In both cases, what this does and will do is add an increasing amount of transparency and openness to the process of government. I honestly believe two-party government is always better than one-party government, whichever the party. So, I know we have other distinguished guests here, and our first speaker today is going to introduce some of those or mention them when she speaks. The last point I would like to make as we move on to the important part of the ceremony, listening to our new board members and the swearing in, I think one of the most significant things that happened in this campaign is that the DNC recognized what was happening out here. It recognized that you don't have to avoid putting up candidates, and that if you do put up good candidates and run good campaigns, you can not only be competitive but can win. This was an absolutely incredible campaign process, and I would just remind you what the DNC wrote. They said thumbs up to the residents of the town of Sweden. I would have changed that. I would have changed it to thumbs up to the three women who were willing to take on this task. Getting elected is hard. They knew they were getting ready and entering a process that was going to take an awful lot of work. If you don't do the work, it's unsuccessful very often. If you do the work, you have a good chance of making it successful. As you can see here, they do the work. I suspect they'll be doing it for the next 4 years, just like this. So that thumbs up was, unlike most of Monroe County's towns where incumbents are unchallenged, Democrats are fielding candidates for supervisor and 2 open town board seats. This isn't an endorsement of Democrats over Republicans or vice versa, but it's always better to offer voters choices when it comes to local government. I would argue that Brockport, that Sweden, became a model for the towns in Monroe County and other surrounding counties, because so many of them do so frequently not run candidates because the challenge seems too great or because of indifference. I have a feeling that won't happen in Sweden again. The first of those 3 candidates that's going to speak to you now is Lori Skoog. Lori moved to Brockport in 1966. She's really been here a half century. And has steadily become more involved with our community. After living in the village for 7 years, as some of you know, she and her family moved to a farm on Lake Road where they grow organic vegetables and care for their horses, dogs, and cats. She and her husband, Gary, have 2 daughters who went through the Brockport school system and 4 grandchildren. In 1999, Lori retired from the Brockport Central School District, where she taught at all levels. Since that time, she has been teaching at the family farm and has been involved with various committees. The Center, Art Walks on Water, which will be part of the 2016 Global Mural Conference, for photography, and more. Over the past 8 years, her online journal regularly featured local events, architecture, the Welcome Center, summer serenades, people and places. It has kept snowbirds in tune with the local scene. When asked why politics, why now, she responds, it all started when the town wanted to close the senior center. Lori Skoog.